Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It's SEC After Dark. How's everybody doing tonight? Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers. Got a little sweet tea and vodka going on tonight.
Nice.
As you
Figured
can
I
see,
would,
I'm a company man.
There you go.
Yeah, he's towing the company line now. He better be drinking a land shark.
I'm sold out, I'm like when Metallica released Load.
Still waiting on our company shirt, Stephen. The Y'all's Conference Network.
They must have got lost in the mail.
Yeah.
So you guys ask, who are these people joining me? These people are Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, and Jake Thomas. What's up? What's up, Twitter world? What's up, Facebook world, YouTube world? I think we're on 47 platforms now at this point.
That's crazy.
Hopefully I don't know how many we're on, but that's just a guess. My man in the Lockdown t-shirt we'll know the exact number, but our chat is ready to display messages. So when you're ready, Twitter world, when you're ready, comment section, let's go ahead and start posting those things. So as you see, we got an action-packed show just because actual college football is not being played. Doesn't mean we can't talk about actual college football. Corey fought 50. No, that's Jake now.
Yeah.
Okay?
After last week's fiasco. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He's 24K.
Yeah. JKOL.
Jake switched to net zero, and he's hoping he can get through tonight.
God.
Maybe Cassidy might be downloading a song. I heard that Alanis Morissette's "You Gotta Know" might be on the internet, and they're trying to download that, and sometime tomorrow it will be done.
Isn't it ironic, Steve? Isn't it ironic? I really do think. Well, as you can see, we're going to get off topic a little bit, and there's a sport called basketball as well that I think we're going to talk about. Jeb's new to basketball, so
never heard of it.
Yep.
Is that
exist?
with a big round ball? I think it's brown.
It doesn't even start till March. Well, why are we talking about it now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get a head start, I guess.
Oh.
It's a free ride when you've already paid, guys. We're going to talk NFL playoffs too, because apparently the weekend of football games was really, really good. So
let's go Titans.
Now the comments are rolling in. Roll Tide, guys, especially to you, Jake.
That's my brother, guys. So he's joining.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Appreciate it, bro.
Right.
So yeah, your brother's on. So I guess we're going to get full 100% ball busting on the chat now, Jared. You better not let me down.
He'll be in bed in about 5 minutes. He has to get up. He's an early riser, like 4 o'clock or something like that. So
Jared, don't call Jake because it'll kick him off.
Yeah, don't call him. Don't even text him.
Yeah.
Just talk to him here. But yeah, so go Titans. Yeah, go Titans.
Hey, did y'all see
like
where
that idea.
Samsung basically invented a flip phone? Can y'all believe that? A phone that you can cut in half. It's amazing. It's like 2006 all over again.
I was supposed to
Circled
say.
all the way back around. All right.
Yeah.
Well, there's evolution for you.
Yeah. Could break the
circle.
razor back out.
Yeah.
Do it. Come on,
God.
Motorola. Make a resurgence. So yeah, there you go. Portal mania, guys. A lot of people entering the portal. It is the portal era now. I feel like everybody's going to the portal. I feel like Georgia's going to have a completely new team. I feel like everyone in the SEC is going to have a completely new team. Looks like Bama's going to get Jermaine Burton.
You sure it's Bama?
It might be LSU.
It
but
could be LSU, but
I think the best chance is him following his wide receiver coach to LSU. And then maybe Bama has an outside shot, but JT's in the portal as well. Half of, or actually 3/4 of Georgia's defense is declaring for the NFL draft, so that's a lot of fun. And but yeah, so I was engaged, and Israel's engaged in a Twitter debate about the portal and the loyalty of these guys, and why do people hit the portal? Is it ruining college football? That was kind of the overarching theme Georgia just won a natty and now everybody wants to leave. What's going on in Athens? Things like that. So wanted to kind of bring that debate, not necessarily debating about Georgia in particular, but like it's the portal era. Like Bama just lost 14 guys to the portal. Georgia's probably going to follow suit. Ole Miss
We're at
lost
17.
a bunch of guys.
Yeah, we're at 17.
Yeah, but you also you gain people too,
Right.
and so your net loss or net gain or whatever, however you want to describe it, will be the ultimate deciding factor when spring practice rolls around, and even when your final rosters are set after media day in the summer. I mean, you could get transfers all the way up through the summer. So my question to y'all, okay, after all that, here's the question: is the portal getting a little bit ridiculous? What do we do to fix it, if so? And just any general thoughts about the portal, Steve?
Yeah,
I'll start with
Stacey.
you.
Well, the portal is really good for teams like Tennessee and Ole Miss, and it's really bad for teams like Alabama and Georgia. Because Alabama has to keep their whole team happy because they're nothing but 4 and 5 stars. They've recruited their way to a certain advantage. If they want to go, which honestly they probably need to go, because 1 year is not really enough film. And that's something that is going to really start popping up for NCAA players. You can go to Alabama for a year. If you don't get on the field, you get out and get gone, get some film for your NFL, put yourself in the best position to make the league. Alabama can go through and cherry pick people and get 1 or 2 players like Jamison Williams and
Jahmyr Gibbs now.
Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah.
Gibbs.
They can cherry pick, but they can't do
Eli Ricks.
both. They might be able to cherry pick, but they do so well at regular high school recruiting. There's really no reason for them to do that. Georgia's the same thing. But at a place like Ole Miss and a place like Tennessee that is perpetually in that 20 to 15 range in recruiting, this is a way to get you into the top 10 and close that talent gap down. And this is going to cause a little bit of parity with the second-tier teams. The top teams are going to be status quo, but the second-tier teams have a chance to really make some hay.
Yeah, I mean, Jake, I think the top-tier teams, they just kind of reload and backfill, and it all ends up kind of working out because you just end up finding the guys that you need. And this is kind of new to everybody because the portal has never been this active. Like there's always been like teams always pick up 1 or 2 guys here from the portal, like Ole Miss with Otis Reese, and Tennessee with Hooker, and Georgia with JT, and so on and so forth. So it's never been this intense.
This year's an aberration. Because you have 105 scholarships that you got to get to 85.
Yeah.
So there's a massive processing at just about every school at this point.
Yeah, and so it's a bit insane, and you got guys here, there, and everywhere, and so Jake, it does seem a little bit ridiculous, but to me, like all things, it's going to even out a little bit.
Yeah, and Stacey said he disagreed with Steven's comment about the portal, but I mean yeah, Alabama, you're right, Steven. They can nitpick and get 1 or 2 guys, but we can get the best guys in the portal. I mean, we've already got Eli Ricks, we've gotten Gibbs, who's probably going to be running back number 1 next year coming in. So. We can go into the portal, Alabama can, and Georgia can as well, and get the players they need to fill in holes that they have on their team. Because there's always
Aaron Kendrick is one that comes to mind.
Exactly.
Tyke Smith, who was out all year with injury, he's coming back, but he's a portal guy from West Virginia.
Yeah, it is thunder and lightning really bad. So if the internet goes out tonight, it's because the power goes out. It ain't because my internet going out.
Okay.
No, okay. Yeah, we'll buy that one. No, it's just Zamir and James Cook running, so don't worry about thunder.
No, Alabama can be surgical, but my point is that Alabama is not going to get away from their high school recruiting that is so successful.
No.
Yeah.
They're going to get 4 and 5 stars regardless,
Yeah.
So.
And then you can pick 1 or 2 players like Henry To'oTo'o, Jamison Williams, and all of a sudden you filled in some holes. A place like Ole Miss has about 10 portal guys that they brought in already. It's part of their recruiting class. And it's a different strategy in places like Georgia and Alabama. It doesn't really hit. But that second tier, all of a sudden you're looking at like 10 or 11 players coming in from the portal.
So what about A&M on the third tier?
Do they have any NIL money left? I've heard rumors of $30 million for this signing class.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean,
to go-
trans A&Ms for everybody.
To go 8-5.
Yeah.
To underachieve. But they have Max Johnson, so they may go 9-3 this year.
Yeah.
So that's good, right?
Hey, Cal, Auburn's got Calzada, so
Hey, if Ole Miss lands Dart and Trigg, they have a top 5 class in the country. That's not just recruiting. That's the overall with the portal and recruiting. And people underestimate them at their peril.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, Stacey, obviously Bama's at the top of the pile, and that's just because they've won, the national championship.
37 national championships, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the top of the heat. So they're going to get whoever they want. Georgia's nipping at the heels, obviously, picked you guys off this year, but still got a ways to go if we want to jump on that train. But we're headed that way. But I'm gonna ask you this, and Jeb, if you were named director of the transfer portal for the NCAA, and it was your job and your job only to make regulation on the transfer portal, what is your number one idea?
I honestly do not know, because I agree. To answer your original question, it does seem like the transfer portal has gotten crazy, but like Steve said, and I kind of agree, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's going to even out, I think, eventually.
It's an odd year. I don't. And Stacey, also with I know Alabama and Georgia are going to be able to get great players, but they're always going to get great players. If it's just recruiting, they're getting the best. If it's transfer portal, they're still getting great players. But I think what Steve's point is some of the smaller teams or teams that don't recruit as well, like Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Yeah, second tier.
Second tier. We can actually grab some good players too, especially those players that go to school at one of the large, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, stuff like that, and just realize.
I tell you, Heupel's not a second-tier recruiter. But.
Right.
Well.
And that's I made that comment on Best of the Best last night. Guys like we had transferred out like Drew Sanders. I don't blame him for leaving and getting the portal and going to Arkansas because he's going to start. I mean, with the emergence of Dallas Turner, this with the last 6-7 games, he's not going to start next year, and he won't see the field much at all unless Dallas Turner got hurt. So I mean, he has a chance now to go and learn from a really good linebacker in Bumper Pool, and be a good linebacker there for Arkansas. So I don't blame him one bit for leaving.
But that's your question. I have no idea what you would do to regulate it at this point. I mean,
right.
It seems nuts. So I don't know. Do you have ideas on what they can do to?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's one idea you could possibly have. Before I get to that, though, like guys like Amir Speed, who's a COVID senior, he's going to Michigan State to reunite with Mel Tucker, who was there when he got recruited. You got like Jalen Kimber going to Florida, who that one I was kind of shocked on.
Whoa. That would be like Saban hiring somebody like Tavares Robinson.
I know, right? And then you have Justin Robinson going to Mississippi State, Latavius Brini going over to Arkansas.
Arkansas is doing a good job in the portal.
They are.
LSU quietly is as well, but any new coach like Billy Napier and Brian Kelly, the portal is a requirement because otherwise your recruiting classes is going to be absolute shit.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate equalizer to coming in and catching up. So good on them. But again, my idea, Jeb, I think you have like two big windows, right? I think you have a window of like a month, kind of like soccer, right, Steve? You have a window, a transfer window from starting of the January, right after the bowls, and you go up until the end of February. Okay, there's one window right there, so it kind of covers like signing day and a few weeks after signing day of this happened, that happened, whatever. let it all unfold. So you have that window. Okay. Then after that window, it shuts down for a little bit. Okay. And then you have one that opens up just for the month of June. So you have a summer transfer window. So as soon as July 1st hits, nobody can transfer until without penalty. Obviously, you have to sit out and do all the old transfer rules. What would you guys think about like a transfer window? And even kind of playing with the signing days. Like I like the idea of 2 signing periods, but how bad would it screw up the recruiting calendar if you move the early signing period to, let's say, like late August, like right before the season starts?
I would be in favor of that. Now, also we need to remember everybody's freaking out. By the way, Cody, Javon Patterson is not going to coach at Ole Miss. He's taking an admin role. So he won't even be an analyst, but he'll work in the admin department. The thing that people need to know whenever they're talking about windows and whenever you talk about windows being until late February is classes start in mid to late January. So the window would need to be at the end of November until like January 15th. And then there can be one after the spring semester. But that's the realism. Now the media wants some sort of an event they can do like we used to do signing day back in our rivals days. That's what the media wants. So they're going to push for windows and things like that so they can make it an event and make money off of it. But I kind of believe it or not, I kind of like the transfer portal as it is now. It's going to stop over the next couple of weeks because classes are going to start. And at that point, it's going to be classes until the beginning of May. So it's going to die down. I mean, just logistically, it has to. So basically, there's windows already built into the system, and that's the first day of class for the spring semester and the first day of class for the summer.
Yeah, I mean that is true. I mean it's a good point to bring up because you see that stuff and it kind of sparks your interest. You're like, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. I want to kind of play it out in my head to make sure it's a valid point. But Stacy, I like your comment about the impact of these recruits. Like De'Aaron Kendrick, 2 picks against Michigan. Defensive MVP in the Orange Bowl. He had a huge impact on this defense because he allowed teams to have to even out their passing attack, and they couldn't avoid Keely Ringo because if they avoid Keely Ringo, they get De'Aaron Kendrick. You have 2 great corners over there. So that made a huge impact and a veteran presence in that defensive back room, which was sorely needed as you saw this team try to defend deep balls. But you look at J-Mo, the impact that he had. Yes, he got injured. Yes, Bama should have been prepared. We talked about that on the last show, but it doesn't understate the immediate impact that he had on this offense. I mean, you could tell he was a catalyst of this whole thing. And it sucks that he went down, but then again, you're Bama, so you got to have things behind that. But that's just kind of where I am on that. I don't mind the portal. I think I don't know. I think there's some things that could happen that might make it a little bit better, or a little less crazy, I should say, and a little less tempting. But I guess we'll know with this cycle that all these people in the portal, which is like record numbers right now, they have to go somewhere. And the grass is not always greener, so I think a lot of people are going to learn that just because I enter the portal doesn't mean I'm going to upgrade. There's going to be people that are coming from Syracuse that think they're going to portal themselves to Clemson,
Right.
and all of a sudden they end up at Idaho State. You know what I mean? Like, so you never know.
Yeah. And Stacy, what I'm talking about on recruiting is this recruiting cycle, Ole Miss has a chance to land 14 high school 4-stars. That is unheard of for a school like Ole Miss. 14 or 15 would be a significant shortening of the talent gap that a place like Alabama has. Yes, Jamison Williams had a ton of impact, but the accumulative effect at a place like Ole Miss or Tennessee with the talent gap that currently exists, if that gets a little bit smaller, it closes it significantly. We're talking about
you
all
think
conference players. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal, man.
And Jeb, Jake, Steve, if you think this league is already competitive, you close that gap a little bit with the portal. Oh my God, it's going to be an all-out war. I mean, it really is NFL light, and I kind of like it. Like, you got NIL deals, which, they're going to top out as well. It's not going to get too crazy, I don't think. But the transfer portal stuff, like free agency, it always kind of finds its way back to even keel. I think it's going to create a lot of parity. So if you're going to create this much parity, why not expand the playoffs and showcase that parity?
Hey, Cody, by the way, NIL is going to have a cap based on capitalism. These people are not going to keep wasting money. This is dead money for players for one season. There is no return of investment. It is going to slow down. Just let the fire hose kind of level out a little bit, and you'll see the NIL stuff to start to slow down a little bit.
And by the way, if you guys see me keep looking off to the side, I've got the Georgia-Auburn game on, which it is ugly. It's 50-25 as it approaches halftime.
Is Georgia winning?
Yeah. Let's go, Georgia. Yeah.
They're winning the sweepstakes to fire Tom Crean is what they're doing.
Did you know he was Jim Harbaugh's brother-in-law?
No, I didn't know that. I had no idea. I would have never known that.
Tom Crean, yeah, he is the brother-in-law.
Would have never known that by watching the Orange Bowl and then talking about that 1 million times per before and after every commercial break. Yeah, I would have never known.
How did he still got a job there at Georgia is what I want to know. I know he was a top tier guy coming in Indiana, but he has not improved Georgia at all.
Do you know how Georgia, the athletic department, looks at basketball?
Probably about like that.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. I think Jeb is running our basketball program. He just had
Did the basketball team even have assigned seats at the celebration, or did they just have to buy their own ticket and go individually?
Probably.
Probably had to buy their own ticket. But I will tell you this: we're starting to turn into Tennessee when it comes to basketball. Like we just won the Natty in football, and now our women's basketball program is about to shoot off into the stratosphere.
So we have to get past Tennessee. I don't know.
So Tennessee
Kelly
fans,
Jolly.
how does this feel? How does this feel?
We're going to talk
have
about
a
Kelly
dominant
Jolly
women's
again.
program. How does it feel to have a dominant women's program? Coach Joni Taylor is she's about to join the elite class of coaches in women's basketball.
Hey, by the way, we're 14-2.
Your women's basketball team is?
Yeah, 14-2
Nice.
with our only loss being to Tennessee in the conference.
Huh.
They're pretty good.
You want to talk about elite though? Look at South Carolina's women, man. Dawn Staley.
Man.
Holy cow! If you ever hear her talk, you should watch her interviews. It's incredible. It gets you fired up. Like I'm ready to run through a wall.
Seriously, better coach of South Carolina's men's team. That's the thing here. Men's team. Dawn Staley or Frank Martin? Men's team.
Dawn Staley.
She is sharp as a tack, man.
I mean, it's insane. Yeah, that's our women's basketball minute. So, but yeah, I mean, Portal Mania, it's going to be crazy. We're going to see where all these guys end up. Justin Robinson had the drop C's at Georgia, but he was a 4-star kid coming out of Phoenix City, Alabama. So that's a big pickup for Leach and company. That'll be a nice added weapon for them. He can do a lot of good things. He had the yips.
Hey,
he just had the yips.
Jake, has Alabama and Auburn just quit recruiting Alabama?
Apparently.
I mean, because Quinshon Judkins is going to Ole Miss, and it was never even a question whether or not he was going to Ole Miss. And this kid's a freak. He's like T.J. Yeldon. And apparently he didn't even get a whiff at Alabama and Auburn. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Georgia's been dominant in Phoenix City.
Mm-hmm.
It's Saban, man. He just rolls out the red carpet to all the 5 stars. But speaking of rolling out the carpet to 5 stars, Georgia had 5 coaches at Arch Manning's basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Ole Miss had coaches at that game as well, by the way.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I think the whole crowd was coaches recruiting Arch Manning, and especially like the
That
next
was.
game. Yeah, the next game is Arch Manning versus like Bronny James, and that'll
Yeah.
probably break the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely will. That definitely will. So
Yeah.
what were you gonna say,
but
Steve?
what I was going to say earlier is Alabama not recruiting Alabama is going to hurt them after Saban. Post Saban, when they need that base, they're going to have to get it back. I mean that's a bad thing. And Brian Harsin has a ticket to 7th in the West right now.
I was going to say, it looks like right now, as everything's laying out, Auburn is going to finish last in the SEC, unless some drastic
They're pinning
changes.
their hopes to. They are pinning their hopes to Zach Calzada
Robbie Ashford.
and Robbie. Ashford.
He was really good at Hoover.
He was.
Yeah.
Hoover. Yeah. At least they're recruiting Alabama though. But so is Dabo Sweeney going to be able to recruit Alabama when he gets there?
I think Dabo Sweeney is going to complain himself out of major college football. I honestly believe that. He is going to complain himself to coaching at like Delta State because he wants everything.
Never Dabo.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Jake's reaction when I said that.
There is a ton of people who want him as next coach. You ask me, hell no. No. I just,
Jake, I got a question for you.
Him.
You get 2 coaches to be the next coach of Alabama. You have your pick, okay? You can have Dabo Sweeney or Hugh Freeze. Who do you take?
I'll take the job. No.
Jake takes neither. He just appoints himself.
Honestly, and I don't think it's going to happen. But hey, that's fine. But Stephen, you have said multiple times it's not about the next hire; it's the hire after the next coach. And I believe that's the thing. We might have a filler for a few years until we get that next top coach.
Has to be Ray Perkins. Always has to be a Ray Perkins.
You got to be Ray Perkins.
So who's going to be the Ray Perkins?
That's a good question.
You go get a mid-major guy and just.
Hang on.
But Alabama can't do that. They have to take a swing.
Yeah.
Because their fan base is going to demand it.
Here's hoping we find out really soon.
And 20.
They're getting
20,
Josh Heupel.
Yeah. 2029, fellas.
Mark Stoops.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
I mean, if he's a stopgap until, he's,
Tennessee fans.
that
went well, didn't it?
You can have Chris Jones.
Hey, there's another one that's been talked about, but I won't Lane Kiffin, of course.
In all seriousness, Blake Anderson would be a hell of a hire to give a shot to.
I don't think they can go Group of 5. It's Power 5 or bust or NFL. That's what it is. Who's the NFL guy that will come back?
Cliff.
That's probably the coach.
Kingsbury. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. That'd be a great hire.
Who's Bill Belichick's kid?
Yeah.
Stephen Belichick.
Yeah.
So all you're gonna so is he just gonna do this to recruits for every weekend?
Yeah.
I mean, is he just gonna be on official visits, just flipping his tongue just randomly?
Dan Mullen.
Nobody still has hired him, which is kind of shocking.
Why would they?
Remember, it's not the coach; it's the coach after. It's the coach after that coach.
Right.
That's the hire you have to get right.
I wouldn't even want Dan Mullen to be the Ray Perkins. That dude's a weirdo. He's a complete tool.
But the Auburn rivalry would become so much fun.
Right
now,
you didn't have fun in that game last year, or this past season.
Yeah, but he would make that comeback in that game where y'all didn't play that well into the end-all be-all and make a whole season around that last drive that Bryce took it down the field to tie it up, and would completely needle over and over Brian Harsin. I mean, it would be ridiculous. Believe me, I know because I was on the other end of it. I get it. And he is he's a guy that needs to be set up in opposition. You give him Auburn to be in opposition of, he turns that rival into a dumpster fire.
He tried that with Kirby, and Kirby said, nah.
Yeah.
He can do that with Harsin, though. But try this name out for size. Mario Cristobal.
I don't think he's going to leave Miami now, unless he gets fired, of course.
Yeah, he's trying to get Kendall Briles, and if he gets Kendall Briles, I don't know if he will. There's rumors that they're working on an extension, but if he gets Kendall Briles,
I'm going to look that up because I swear I just saw he hired an offensive coordinator.
Well, he might have, because that rumor of Kendall Briles is a couple of days old.
That'd be stupid of him to leave, to be honest with you.
Here's what's stupid is daggum Bill O'Brien still has a job at Alabama.
Not for long. The NFL
not for long. He's going to end up he's going to end up in Jacksonville.
I hope to God they.
I hope so too.
Yes, Saban's playing this perfectly because he doesn't have to fire him. He knows he's helping him get to the NFL. Like that's how
Doug Monroe can go too.
Yeah, Saban's playing him perfectly. Gary Patterson is coming to Texas. Speaking of SEC,
I saw that today.
Oh.
Yeah, special assistant. He's the Dwight Schrute assistant to the head coach.
What is that?
You don't watch The Office, do you?
I've never seen an episode of The Office.
Such a good show.
Whoa.
Very good
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
So the guy in question is Mario Cristobal's offensive coordinator is Jason Candle from Toledo.
Jason Candle turned it down, didn't he?
He has turned it down. So
yeah.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah, he's not the offensive coordinator for Toledo. He's the head coach.
I know that would be weird for him. Like, why would he turn that? Like, why would he leave a head coaching post to go downgrade to an offensive coordinator job when he's a pretty solid head coach? He could just jump into another head coaching role if he wanted to. So I thought that was odd.
Cody, I just want to comment what you said. Seven said he did a great job. I mean, you're not going to have a head coach berate one of his coaches. You just at any program.
No, not unless he does something obviously bad.
Right. So of course he's going to say he did a great job. But in hindsight, Saban knows he didn't.
Yeah, Saban probably behind closed doors probably has lit him up on several occasions.
I mean, you look. We should have never been in a close game against LSU. Should have never been in a close game against Auburn. Just the talent discrepancy and how good our offense should have been in those games, and it was just lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, you look at Wilson Love at Ole Miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves Wilson Love. He's got all the energy and everything going on. But twice last year, a whole position group was injured with muscle injuries.
Yeah. Scott Cochran-esque.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, that's a severe black mark on his record, and I am sure that affected things with him and Lane because his whole job, the strength coach's whole job, is to make sure everybody is available on game day. And if everybody is getting muscle injuries, that's a problem. But Kiffin will never downgrade him, and he let him go off to Oregon, and he took that as a win.
Right.
But he probably wanted him to go because of that, but he would never admit that just because of the way it would look and everything was going on. But that's an example of, how that works.
That happens all the time.
Cody said that he did visually to Kiffin, but Kiffin quit on his team right before a national championship game. So that's different, like Jeb's case. Like Jeb said, if you do it and it's pretty obvious, so him, Kiffin leaving right before a big championship game, it's kind of leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
Kiffin coaches that game, Alabama wins.
Absolutely.
I will take that to the grave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
And
would
John, in all fairness to O'Brien, no, he's an NFL guy. He's supposed to be this great coordinator. I'm sure he's probably seen blitz a few times in his life,
too.
in his
Yeah.
career.
Mhm.
He's got to do a better job of putting those guys in a better position to pick up those blitzes. So
Yeah.
I don't buy that excuse, John. I really don't.
Man,
I don't either.
I hope Jacksonville pours gasoline on that dumpster fire by hiring him. I hate Jacksonville so much.
That would be incredible,
That would
right?
be
Poor,
great.
poor sunshine. Poor
They could
sunshine.
draft. They could draft Jameson Williams. That's an option too, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good
Jameson would be
point.
like, no.
Yeah.
Jameson like, I declared for the draft to get away from this fool.
After all the years, by the way, Laquan Treadwell coming out the number one wide receiver, little blast from the past for Jacksonville. That was
Oh.
good to see.
Did he? I didn't even know.
The never-ending
Yeah.
cycle of knee injuries for that guy. I felt
Yeah.
bad for him.
Yeah, I
He
did
started.
too.
He started kind of showing up for the Falcons like late last season, and that's kind of what got him that gig in Jacksonville. Now he's ran away with it.
Well,
so.
well, he broke his leg in the Auburn game in 2014.
Oh.
And
And
it
going
ju-
into the end zone, wasn't it?
Yeah, going
Oh.
to the end zone right
I
before he
remember
crossed the goal line. And then the Auburn newspaper of the player broke his leg just finding a way headline.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh my
so.
God.
Yeah.
That's garbage
And
writing.
Yeah, and to this point, we have a problem with Auburn because of how they handled that situation.
Yeah. Miracle
Good.
football. Snapped his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in the SEC ought to have a problem with Auburn because it's Auburn. Period.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn. I think Nick Fairley tried to kill Aaron Murray, like literally kill him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And John, no, it's not an excuse for LSU. LSU played. They had a really good defensive game plan. I mean, that's what you do to Bama, you know, and they can't stop it, obviously. So that's not. It's not an excuse for O'Brien to be bad. But LSU's defense played really, really well, and they got a really good young defense, and they had them in that game.
LSU had the athletes to match up with John Mechie and Jameson Williams and play cover zero and come after Bryce. I mean, it wasn't a secret what they did. It was recruiting.
Right. And
they had all their success on recruiting.
Yeah.
It wasn't Coach O.
And just look at the SEC championship game, for instance. Georgia hardly ever blitzed in that game, and we put up 41. Championship game, they come out and they started blitzing, and we only got, 14, 17, something like that?
Bus, man.
Yeah. So, I mean,
18. Yeah,
18, yeah. So, I mean, there you go. He just does not adjust to blitzes. And it's been that way all year.
Georgia did a complete 180. I mean, not to get into another national championship breakdown, but I mean that's what that was. So,
right.
I mean that's that's the blueprint.
Kirby okaying that is actually a kind of a big deal because he's coached, for lack of a better word, scared against Alabama every time they went out.
Yeah.
That defensive game plan was not scared. That defensive game plan was whatever comes, we're ready for. Bring it.
I think Muschamp said, "Quit being a blankety blank," and there's few people on this planet that can talk to Kirby that way, and Muschamp is one of them. Bobo's the other one.
Yeah, Georgia did a lot better rotating Jordan Davis. Yeah, he was a lot more fresher, had a lot more stamina, and was on the field in a lot of big plays. So, kudos to them for doing that as well.
So yeah, but I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see where all this shakes out, how the portal shakes out, where does Jermaine Burton end up, where does who when the dust settles, who goes where, how does it all shake out, and I think ultimately it will be a good thing, and I think fans freaking out about it needs to stop because it is what it is. I mean, yeah, did I want Georgia to lose Jermaine Burton and JT Daniels and Jalen Kimber and Latavius Breen? No. But, I mean, it is what it is. We'll backfill. Bama will backfill. Tennessee will backfill. Ole Miss will backfill. Baylor will backfill, so on and so forth. I mean, it will all work out. Rosters will be set. These kids have to go somewhere. Or
they're all going to Southern Miss, by the way. If you want early money for next year of most improved team, put the money on Southern Miss.
I was impressed with their quarterback.
Mm.
You know, when they played Alabama. So
Yeah,
Yes.
Will Hall, not Will Hall. Yeah, Will Hall, right? Did I get? Am I right?
Yeah,
on
Will
it?
Hall.
No.
Yeah, that's him. That's that coach.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking like Will Hall, and then I was like, no, Willie Fritz, and I got those two confused. But yeah, Will Hall is doing a actually really good job down there, secretly. But so let's get off topic a little bit, guys. Let's go from SEC After Dark to NFL After Dark, which is really almost the same thing if you really look at it now.
we're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
You kidding me? Playoffs? So it was a really actually wild card weekend. It was the best it's been in a while. Like I never really would get fired up for wild card weekend. I just thought it was meh. But really good weekend. I thought there was a lot of good games. Even the Chiefs game for a little while was good. The Dallas game, the Rams 40, the Rams, not Rams 49ers, but Rams Cardinals game, the mysterious whistle in the Cincinnati Raiders game.
That was weird.
Yeah, it was.
It was very weird.
Kyler Murray plays quarterback, and he looks like Mario before the mushroom.
Yes.
That's what he looks out there playing quarterback.
Did y'all see that little picture they got floated around the internet? He was like that tall.
Yeah.
And like I think it was Donald coming after him. I mean, it was funny to see.
Yeah, like the quickness in which he like threw that ball up. He's like, nope, not getting tackled.
Yeah.
He just literally flipped it up. Just
Yeah.
lofted it. And the guy was like, oh, okay, I'm going to catch this and walk into the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to do well and keep Kingsbury in the league, because after he goes, Kyler's worthless.
Yeah.
Because only in that system would he be effective.
Yeah. They
It's
better
like
hire
pro
the dude.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, they better hire. Yeah, he might just want to go back to the A's. Go play Billy Beanball.
Seriously.
A little sabermetrics or whatever they call it. But yeah, I thought like
Moneyball.
You look at the Moneyball. There you go. You look at the Cardinals. You want to talk about a team that just completely disappointed me. Like you look at all season long, right? They play so well. Like they play so dominantly, but ultimately injuries caught up with them. Not having DeAndre Hopkins proved to be more of a burden than we thought. But again, we look at that. Obviously it was a reason, but that can't be a reason because you have Rondale Moore, you have AJ Green, you have you have these two
Zach
really
Ertz.
good running backs. You have Zach Ertz.
You got talent. Yeah.
You've got things to go to. You got people to go to, and you can't get the ball out because you can't protect. Right? It all goes down to protection. You all of a sudden can't protect.
I think
You
they
go
showed
against
him
Aaron
at
Donald, you have no
Texas Tech and Arizona, and he was like 4 losses out of 6 to close the season in every season since he was at Tech. He just does not close the season. Once the book gets out on him, he's just done.
I heard Brian Dable is the front runner for the Giants job.
Who would want that job? Good God.
I don't know.
There's got to be a way to put that team back together, but nobody's been able to do
They have a decent roster defensively.
Yeah.
They broke
I mean,
Eli's consecutive game streak just because.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was like the Great Bambino curse, thing. Now they
Yeah.
curse themselves.
But maybe you get Dave Gettleman out of there. Maybe that helps.
I mean, it's got to be coaching because when we have teams like has the top 5 picks in the draft every single year and they don't improve, it's incredible.
Jacksonville.
yes,
Yeah.
I was about to
It
say
was
the Jacksonville model.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the bad pick at quarterback. I mean, they have Saquon Barkley. They have really good receivers from Kenny Golladay to Sterling Shepard to Kadarius Toney. Who else?
Yeah.
Darius Slayton, your War Eagle guy, Darius Slayton. They have who else do they have? I thought they had a really, but up
Evan
front
Ingram.
they had
I was going to say, Evan
there you
Ingram
go.
is criminally underused.
Yes.
They
I
have
had
they
him
have
on
a really
my
good left
fantasy
tackle.
this year.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
I had Saquon, so yeah, I'm playing the
Yeah.
little tiny fiddle too. But they have a really good left tackle, Andrew Thomas, and then they have absolute dog turds at their other 4 offensive line spots.
Yeah.
They started Jake Fromm at one point. Like that's how bad it got.
You know
That's very bad.
what's
I
absolutely
love Jake Fromm, but he's not a yeah.
the Giants are a criminal joke around New York right now. And on top of everything else, I look for the Jets to actually be pretty decent next year.
They're gonna
Not good. They probably won't let the playoffs, but I think they might win 7-8 ball games next year.
They got a long way to go to make the playoffs, but I
their
think
quarterback
Robert
will get
Saleh
better.
did a pretty good job.
Hmm.
I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, they beat the Titans, so I can't complain.
I think Zach Wilson has a future in the league.
Yeah, I think he does too, actually.
Jeff, there's a team that should never beat the Titans, always beat the Titans. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
by
I remember
the
the
way-
Browns a few years ago beat us, and they were garbage.
By the way, there's an article out today. Is the Titans the worst number 1 seed since 1983? It's like, man, this is criminally lack of respect at this point.
Yeah.
It's lazy
love
journalism,
That,
if
though.
you
I'm
ask
sorry.
me.
Look,
Yeah.
the Titans always play better as underdogs. Whenever
Absolutely.
they're overlooked, that's when they have their best games. I love it. I hope they keep getting
Like
overlooked.
they were able to snag the number 1 seed without Derrick Henry,
Mm-hmm.
without AJ Brown and Julio for most of the year.
Broke the
Derrick
record
Henry
for
is-
number.
Without Julio for the entire year because he didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when he was
He,
in.
he just channeled his Falcons.
Shit.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of, my Falcons fandom might be in the transfer portal.
Well, come to Tennessee.
I might.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not mine.
am-
We were the Rams choking away from making the playoffs and playing 5 quarterbacks during the season.
Yeah.
the Falcons just continue to be a piss poor organization. They are leaning more towards the just throw what on the wall and see what sticks model of drafting, and it's poor Matt Ryan just gets killed every time he drops back. They have no weapons except Kyle Pitts.
Hey,
No.
they're all about baseball now since the Braves won a championship. So
Cool.
the World Series. Yeah.
Cool. I'll root for the Braves, the Titans, the Hawks, and the Preds. Those will be my pro teams.
The Falcons had a good wide receiver, but whatever happened to him? Calvin Ridley just disappeared.
He
walked
quit.
Away?
He
Quit.
Is
He
he
just-
done, or is that just?
What was
No, he's
that?
not done. He went-
ain't
they're
done.
gonna
He
trade
just he
He was done with the Falcons. I'm done with this group.
Okay, yeah. See, he never said if it was just football or if I don't know.
He
if
said
had
it was
a
mental.
breakdown or
Yeah.
I always wonder what happened there. I guess we'll find out more later.
Kentucky has
Name me
come
a
back
quarter-
and take the lead, by the way.
Nah, that's not surprising.
Georgia's still losing, in case you guys are wondering.
Mhm.
So
Who
the
said that?
comment
John?
Matt Ryan is, Matt Ryan has never been anything special without a top 10 rushing attack. Go ahead and make a long list of quarterbacks that have been in the NFL. Without a top 10 rushing attack.
I don't know. I just ain't never been sold on Matt Ryan.
He's always been.
He's had no help.
solid. Yeah.
I think
They had a
it's-
28-3 lead against the Patriots, and
Yeah.
they blew it.
I was about to say he's somewhere between the 28th ranked quarterback and the 3rd ranked quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Nice. That was all coaching. Kyle Shanahan pissed down his leg, and that was
You have a 4 touchdown lead. You can't piss down your leg at that point. You had 2 quarters left. Good God.
He saw Bill Belichick over there. I don't know. Like that was it's obvious why that's the biggest choke in the history of sports.
Apparently, Sean McDonald ain't scared of Bill Belichick because they just creamed, the Patriots last week.
God, that was crazy.
Yeah.
It was.
Beat that crap out of him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Boo Boo Foo. this is one thing you need to know about Jackson Dart is he wasn't highly recruited necessarily until his senior year in high school. He didn't have all the pre-visits and love and all that. So he's making the most of what's going on right now. I don't know when he's going to commit. I know by the 21st, he has to be committed and in class at Oklahoma or get a professor's approval to be in there. I know by the 31st, he has to be in at Ole Miss. And I don't know what BYU's schedule is, but that's the time frame. I expect them to milk it pretty well.
He has to be on his mission by February 1st.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 teams. Okay.
Caps Lock is your friend, I guess.
Absolutely.
So going back to
yelling.
the Falcons, like,
Hey, you got the point across.
Mm-hmm.
loud noises. So Matt Ryan has never had an offensive line. The one year he did, they went to the Super Bowl, and he was MVP. And the Patriots defense figured it out, and they the play that turned that game was your boy, the Bama kid, Devontae Hightower, doing this, getting that strip sack. Without that strip, if that strip sack doesn't happen, Julio was wide open.
Yeah.
Hey, was that my Kyle Shanahan team? Was that the invention of duo?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and it
Essentially.
kind of caught the NFL off guard and everything, Kyle Shanahan, because his dad basically is credited with being at the head of the invention of the zone blocking scheme, and it's kind of funny to see.
Him and Alex Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah, his running. I had Alex Gibbs in Oxford, and I videoed it for a week, and him just talking football with everybody. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to see that. But yeah, the duo is like the next evolution of zone blocking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you really study it and break it down, not to put on our coaches' hats, but yeah, I mean it's really good. It's basically running backs reading linebackers. Yeah, let me go grab my visor. It's basically running backs reading linebackers and making them wrong and just creating double teams at the point of attack. It's really kind of awesome if you look at it. So it's like zone. It's like inside zone on steroids.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so the Titans, are they the worst number 1 seed? Not a
No.
chance.
No,
Mike
not even a
Vrabel's
little
coach
bit.
of
King
Mike
Henry
Vrabel's
is
coach of
back.
the year.
Yeah.
He's back.
Although he's playing against Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow has never lost a game that has been for all the marbles in his career. In college
Until
and
Sunday.
pro.
It's
Until-
going to happen in the NFL, though.
Ain't no
Oh, yeah.
phantom
Oh, yeah.
whistles in Nashville, baby.
And look,
Better
Joe
buckle
Burrow's going
up.
to be an outstanding quarterback. The Bengals are going to be a great offensive team for a few years. It's going to be crazy. But he's also,
Not-
I mean,
not
it's
this
gonna happen
weekend.
This year. No.
Not this
It's-
weekend.
I look at Joe Burrow and think about what he could be with Sean Payton and just cry.
Yeah, I don't blame
I look at Joe Burrow and see what he would be like as a No, wait, no, I don't.
No.
Like
So
I said,
you-
my fandom is in the
Although
portal.
I have hope with everything's going on, everybody's going to do something, and the Saints can finagle and work their way and get Tua. That's all I
I
want.
was just to say, you giving up on Tua now?
No.
No.
No, I just
Still
Joe Burrow is not even an option at this point because he's.
So
Yeah.
who are your Dolphins going to hire, Steve? You're a Dolphins guy now too.
I'm a secondary Dolphins guy, and it's probably going to be DeBall. Until everybody is going to try and hire DeBall until DeBall is hired.
Yeah.
Stable. Yeah.
Everybody
yeah,
wants the
that's
ball.
true.
You can have O'Brien.
Yeah,
No, he's in Jacksonville.
you have Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn.
Oh, he's interviewing in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. I did see that.
Yeah, ouch. Yeah,
Oh.
no, he did throw bombs against UJ and this. Yeah, he threw bombs against everybody that year.
He threw pawns against Bama at Bama.
Man, I saw him live against Ole Miss. I saw that game where John Rice Plumlee went nuts and ran for 230 yards. But I also saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase put on an absolute show. And even though Ole Miss lost like 59-35, that was a fun game, man.
Yeah, that I mean, God Almighty, you talk about a really just like, Georgia had no answer. in that game.
Yeah.
Like they had no answer. Like you're not covering those two. Jefferson
He moves
and
so
Chase.
well in the pocket.
He
Just
does.
6 inches around. You think you have him, and you just don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. It's ridiculous. Like that
Yeah.
game, I was like, I wasn't even mad. I was just like, oh my god, like they just surgically kicked our ass. Holy cow. Okay, tip of the cap.
And then Coach O is pulling his Gene Chizik or Larry Coker self, talking to you. Hey, we did that. Let's smoke cigars in midfield. And it's like, you didn't do anything.
Joe Burrow did that.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. Not even Joe Brady, really. I mean, Joe Burrow probably called half those plays.
Yeah.
No, I look at that game. I'm just like, holy cow, man, that's just awesome. Yeah. So, like I said, Steve, this is your chance to recruit me for the Saints.
No,
Pretty
you're a
hard.
Falcons fan. Saints are off the table.
Ah,
Well, damn.
Don't
There
even.
you go. Don't even want you.
Sorry, we got history,
Look at
bro.
me.
Tennessee
All right,
knows. Everybody
Titans
up
it is.
here. Everybody up here is already a Braves fan anyway.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy the team.
Titans it is.
yep.
Titans it is. I'm rooting for the Titans this weekend anyway. So
Now you're gonna bring us bad luck.
shit. No, my Braves and
Falcons
Dogs
energy
won
over here.
championships, guys. I'm on a heater.
There you
What are you
go.
talking about?
Oh, by the way, guys, tomorrow on the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, we talk a little bit about J.J. Pegues coming home from Auburn to Ole Miss. And we also have Kara McCutcheon coming on there talking about the Jackson Dart and Michael Trigg and the social media kind of phenomenon that popped up. So tune in. If it's like 15 minutes long, it's pretty good.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. So what about this other sport here? Basketball. As Steve exits stage left.
He's got some signed memorabilia.
Deuce McAllister.
Yeah.
Oh, Deuce.
Oh, Deuce. The Deuce is loose.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eli
Eli
Manning.
Manning.
I don't know who that is.
Jeff.
He's a TV
And-
host, apparently.
Yeah.
John K.O. Dotley.
Archie who? Yeah, isn't Eli Manning that guy on ESPN?
He is.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Him and
That's
Peyton's
pretty
little
good.
show is pretty funny.
He's not the guy that threw the birds. He's not the guy. Yeah, he is the guy that threw the birds, not the guy that said
Yeah.
he can't hear shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That the night he threw them birds was funny. He's like, "Oh, we can cut this out." It just went doink.
And then Peyton, I can't hear shit. And then
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch dropping F-bombs.
Oh,
Yeah, that was.
You know,
was
You
good.
knew it.
they inadvertently
God.
walked in and discovered the future of broadcasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not going to be another John Madden and Pat Summerall.
No.
So much so that ESPN is going to do it with the MLB with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Gross.
Think of trying to-
Everybody hates A-Rod. There's a whole movie called The Other Guys that made the joke that because he
should've
shot
A-Rod.
you should have shot A-Rod. And,
Oh my God.
As he shot Jared Jeter. Yeah. He's a biracial
But it's-
angel.
A-Rod, man. Like
Gosh.
you had
that-
one of the greatest catches as a wife of all time with
Oh.
J-Lo. And you blew it. You know about
much
Chip-
like his MLB career.
Hey, yeah. He also had Tori Wilson for a while too, which is a former WWE diva. So, he's had some, he's had some eye candy.
Didn't he have the girl from Friday Night Lights? The
I think
series?
so.
Oh, good for him.
Lila? I think so.
Connie Britton?
No, she's much too old. In the chat, answer that question if you know that. Did A-Rod have the girl from Friday Night Lights as a girlfriend? at
Come
one
on,
time?
John. I know you know that. You're a Yankees fan. No, but A-Rod just oozes, and then, I like Michael Kay though. I can't
A-Rod
like
kind of
Michael Kay.
oozes douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
He's a douchebag.
He's got resting
Yeah.
douchebag face.
Yeah. You just look at him. He's just got a very punchable face.
And he was 18 years old and in the major leagues playing shortstop for the Mariners.
That's insane.
Yeah,
You want to get it. You want to get the Manning cast. You just need to get like King Griffey Jr. and Derek Jeter.
Ken Griffey Jr. best swing in the history of baseball.
Oh man,
Not even close.
it was gorgeous.
Or just get Vlad Guerrero's son and Tatis's son together. Like if they're not playing on Sunday Night Baseball, they just get together and they watch the game.
That would be pretty cool.
But like get like Greg Maddux and John Smoltz, and all they're doing is like talking shit to each other.
No, I want Greg Maddux and Cecil Fielder in a game where Prince Fielder is playing against Fernando Tatis.
Yeah.
Because Greg Maddux has a ridiculous stat. Is one of the craziest things. He walked like 300 batters and 179 were intentional.
Yeah.
And the rest of his career, he walked like a little over 100 batters. That's nuts.
Isn't there another insane stat where he like there's like a really high or a really low percentage of
3-0 counts,
getting a 3-0 counts or 3-1 counts. Something ridiculous. Like you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and he had like an 88 mile an hour fastball. It was nuts.
He never threw it.
Yeah,
I mean, he never threw a ball that went straight ahead. Every ball he threw was moving somewhere.
Yep.
That's back. Everybody on the chat, that was back before analytics ruined baseball.
Yeah, I hate analytics. I mean, how it's set up now, we will probably never see another complete game ever because they pull them by like the fifth inning.
Yeah, anybody from this area, is any pitcher going to be up for the Hall of Fame?
Who knows? I doubt it.
Because your numbers, you're going to have like a 5.65.
Hold
on, guys. Hold on. Smoltz is greater than Maddox. We got to address this.
No.
I love both of them, but
Smoltz was third on that staff.
I'm a huge Smoltz fan, but there is not a shot in hell. There is not a shot in hell he's better than Greg Maddux. You're telling me you're going to line up Greg Maddux on you put Greg Maddux on the bump, we winning.
There's an automatic, pretty much. He beat the Cubs with 77 pitches, I think.
But it's insane. Like he's one of the few pitchers that I've seen in my lifetime that could be a right-handed pitcher but still pitch like he's a lefty on lefty.
Yeah.
Where
Greg
the ball,
Maddux,
where the ball busts in on the lefty's hands.
Greg Maddux in today's baseball would have a .5 ERA.
Nobody could touch him. Nobody would touch him.
They're going to go up there and try and hit home runs every time? Nope.
But he'll be pulled by the fifth inning.
Yeah. Oh, you're at 75 pitches. We don't want to risk it.
No, he won't because he could swing the lumber too.
Oh yeah. Tim Hudson. Tim Hudson can swing the lumber too. I really like Tim Hudson when he's with the Braves.
Yeah, and I still
Greg
think
Maddux
about
also,
that.
He's literally the best compliment you could give your wife too. Honey, I have to tell you, you're as pretty as Greg Maddux.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, thanks. Bless your heart."
Yeah, he'd be absolutely unhittable, and it's everything that today's pitchers aren't. Because if you don't throw 98, if you just do not throw gas, you're not getting on the field right now.
Right.
And they wouldn't even look at Greg Maddux, who is one of the best pitchers in the history of baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Tom Glavine really never threw much gas. He did a lot of curveball stuff. So
his son plays at Auburn, War Eagle.
And Glavine would just hit his spots and let the defense go to work.
Right.
Glavine would get tattooed on occasion, but for the most part, he's going to live on those corners.
Yep.
And then teams are just going to hit fly balls and little nubbers to the infield, and he just gets outs. Like Maddux will strike you out, get you out. Maddux was nasty. Glavine just hit his spots. Glavine was the most effective, efficient pitcher that the Braves had. Maddox was an artist. Smoltz was the power guy.
Yeah. And Smoltz able to transition into a closer for a few years too. That you don't really see much of that happening either nowadays.
Smoltz is the guy that would fit in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most. Yeah.
And Smoltz had to really learn how to be a major league pitcher. Like when he got traded from the Tigers, like he was kind of a scrub.
Yeah, he struggled early in his career.
Mm-hmm. He kind of had to learn how to pitch, but he has one of the greatest pitching matchups in the history of baseball with the 10-inning complete game.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a loss to.
He would have done about a third of that in today's baseball.
5 innings.
Five innings, they're pulling you. I don't get that.
On 60 pitches, 5 innings. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan threw 150 pitches every time he went out and pitched for 25 years.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
with gas.
Nolan Ryan's also not human.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan never lost his speed either.
He went out at like 70 years old and threw out the first pitch at an Astros game and threw it 78 miles an hour to the plate. Just threw gas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dude would kick your ass too.
Yeah,
if you trudged him out.
And he had probably the most dominant 12-6 curveball I can remember, because that was his out pitch. Everybody talks about the gas and what he threw. His out pitch was that 12-6. I mean, it was nasty.
It was nasty.
Just falls off the table. But he was one of the few pitchers. Like he knew how to pitch. He knew mechanics. He was a smart guy. He knew how to not kill his arm. Because he pitched with his legs.
Yeah.
He pitched with all lower body. I mean, he drove that.
Yeah, and he rode a stationary bike for 2 hours after each start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not human.
Probably in between too.
Probably.
Definitely. Ask Robin Ventura.
Yeah, Robin Ventura's nose still isn't right.
I immediately regret this decision.
He gets in that headlock. He's like, "Oh no." I wonder every time they show that, like, what his reaction is.
By the way, Kentucky went to Reed Arena and beat Texas A&M 64-58. Kentucky's back. Kentucky's what we assume Kentucky's going to be playing basketball again.
I know Vinny's happy.
Georgia is cut it to 19.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Comeback.
Epic comeback starts right now.
Yeah. Bama beat LSU by 3, and Florida beat Mississippi State by 8.
Big win for Bama.
Yeah, I think the two teams in the conference this year is Auburn and Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's for the first time since I think SEC basketball. Like I never think of SEC basketball as being worth a damn because
Georgia hadn't been in years, so I mean I understand that.
Georgia hadn't had a basketball program since Dominique, so
right.
Let's just get that out on the table.
Well, Kentucky's point guard is Georgia guy.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Exactly. Georgia lost 4 starters to the transfer portal last year. One was playing at Auburn, Katie Johnson. Ole Miss got one. Kentucky got one. Auburn got one. I forget where the other one went.
You get a basketball player, and you get a basketball player.
I didn't know Oprah was our head coach.
Didn't say we're Oprah out here.
Good for her. Good for her. That's a great retirement job.
I think y'all would have a better record with Oprah as head coach.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we'd at least be down by only 10 instead of 19 in this game.
Yeah, I think she would be a better people manager.
Yeah.
She'd have.
Can you imagine
more
Tom
resources.
Crean's calling Jim Harbaugh for how to address his players? No, I'm getting shivers thinking about that.
Jim Harbaugh says, "Yeah, just show up at their house unannounced and spend the night in their tree fort. They'll really appreciate that."
Did it work?
Got you, Tom. It worked.
Did it work?
It worked.
Did it?
Ask Chris Childers. No.
What do you sleep at on the couch?
I don't know.
I mean, that's kind
It's
of strange. Jim Harbaugh's a
kind
strange dude.
he is.
He's a leader for the Raiders job right now, by the way. Black and
The
silver.
Raiders. There you go. Locked on. He's locked on with the Raiders, right?
Well, the rumor
Yeah.
is he would take that job, so he's waiting on an offer.
Huh.
But he's still recruiting. He was in Tallahassee today.
Still waiting on I think Matt Nagy has been fired by the Bears, so I'm still waiting on Ryan O'Day to go up there, or Ryan Day. So
Yeah. Well, no, because they're gonna hire Flores.
oh really?
I think they're gonna hire Flo. Flores getting fired really kind of shook that whole coaching thing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that didn't make sense.
And the Texans are going to hire somebody that none of us have ever heard of again.
Probably.
I saw it was like some dude. I was like, who? Who's that?
And they'll go they'll have 4 wins and he'll get fired again. Fired, and this is the same old with them.
God.
You're talking about being a long way from the playoffs. Even if they got Deshaun Watson, they're still a long way from the playoffs. They're in shambles right now.
Don't want to get everybody's hopes up, by the way, but on Instagram, Jackson Dart's girlfriend put a story out there of Jackson Dart in an Ole Miss uniform saying "hotty toddy."
Uh-oh.
Haha.
Uh-oh.
So
She just wants to party at the Grove.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. All these cute
so
dresses.
yeah, it is what it is. Hey, by the way, for you
Yeah.
guys, me and Jeb down here, we can have this conversation. But you know that one week when you were in college, when all the girls put on the sundress and all the weather was perfect? That's 8 months down here. So y'all enjoy y'all's ice.
Oh my gosh.
I think I done like
So-
60 today. It
So
was-
that's why Lane took that job.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. Come on, man.
I think Florida Atlantic is actually the closest university to the beach in the United States.
That makes
It's
sense.
like
Yeah.
a mile and a half to the water.
So you
Like,
could
Lane
walk
was
out to the beach.
He was very strategic in taking his jobs.
hmm
Lane would wear board shorts to practice at FAU
Yeah.
and flip flops, and after practice, he wouldn't even go in. He'd just go to the beach.
Yeah.
Hey, in the morning, I look at the temperature and everything and try not to wear long pants. That's my goal. I don't want to wear long pants. I want to wear shorts every day. January 15th, I want to wear shorts.
But does it
That
count
must
if
be
you don't leave
nice.
your house?
Yeah.
What's that?
Does it count if you don't leave your house?
No, I walk every day. I walk 2 or 3 miles a day.
Dang.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
So the thing is, snow, ice, rain, sleet, hail, whatever, the girls up here in Nashville are still half naked, so temperature doesn't matter.
Nice.
Yeah, but by the end of the night, you can just look at them and tell that they really regret their decision. They're that version of the Disney parents at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Are we turning to the Playboy channel or something? I mean, what the hell's going on here?
Spikes, baby. Squigglies.
There you go, Jay. That protects you from Cassidy. That's a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Cassidy. Yep. Where is she? She's lurking, isn't she?
Does the Playboy channel exist anymore?
I wouldn't know.
No.
Yeah, actually, I don't know.
When I was 15, 16 years
Of
old,
course you wouldn't know,
that
Jake.
was a fantastic
Playboy
thing
channel
for-
and the Squigglies, man.
Yeah, man. You figure out how to get around the scrambling, especially with Skinamax, man. We did that like crazy.
Yeah, Skinamax at the dark.
Uh-huh. Alabama Jones and the Busty Crusade.
There you go. Now you're speaking. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The hills have thighs.
Yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
devil wears nada. The titles alone just.
If y'all are still watching the show after an hour on here, this is definitely SEC After Dark at this point. This is
Yes.
overtime.
This is
My cup is empty, so that tells you something.
oh my gosh. Yeah. Off the rails.
Yep, we have gone way off the rails, but guess what? We're going to end it right there. We hope you enjoy the show as much as well. No, never mind. Well, we hope you enjoyed our silly season episode. It was quite silly. We talked a little bit about the portal, talked a little bit about the NFL, talked some Skinamax. So we come full circle here on the SEC After Dark podcast. Steve is locked on, ready to go. You can catch him on the Locked On podcast. You can catch Jake Thomas, now of the Independent, or I guess y'all's conference network, you could say, Tide Talk podcast. You can catch me on the Believe in Georgia Dogs podcast.
Star Wars.
That was great. Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh god.
Shaving Ryan's privates.
Oh my gosh.
Steve, it's a family show.
Not anymore, eh?
Not for 20 minutes. It hasn't.
No, not the last 20 minutes of that, man.
Steve, you've just gone way too far.
Bubba's the one that said that, though.
I know, just kidding. Star Wars, I love that. And he used a 0 to cap it off.
That's great.
He wants to get around any filters. I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
he did.
He's a smart man.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. We love it.
Oh my god.
I love it. I love it. Our tagline for this episode: 4 idiots who love Skinamax. Somewhere out there, little Jimmy is bug-eyed and slack-jawed. There are
13-year-old Steve is looking at the squiggly lines.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's about 100 mamas out there going, turn it off.
Yeah. Now, what are you watching?
What is a sports show?
Yeah.
Mama, I swear it's a sports show. Oh yeah, space whores.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
That was the parody version of Star Wars.
You could still just call that Spaceballs. It works both ways. Huh?
There you go.
There you go.
I'm surrounded by assholes.
Oh boy. Jake, think about that one tonight. And try to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad image going to bed.
Oh, you had the solo scene? I'm my own best friend.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Jeb out here just dropping bombs.
Yeah.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show today.
Yeah.
Tune in next week whenever we might get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
my
we
god.
got to stop there.
Yeah.
We got to stop there.
No more.
That's mic
No
drop.
more. Yeah.
That's mic drop.
Winner.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. Yeah.
We're not worthy. All right, catch us next week. SEC After Dark. Peace. Star Wars and the Phantom Penis. Coming soon to theaters near you.
No,
Not to my theater.